Hey friends, happy Friday morning. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. Just wanted to share something that was on my heart this morning, something that I hope blesses you as much as it did me. Had a very timely Bible study just in light of the day that we celebrated yesterday, the day that I almost missed. It was National Hug a Runner Day. I know you're saying, wow, I didn't know a day like that existed. And neither did I until later on that afternoon. I was looking through social media and I found it. And it's a day to celebrate runners, to hug your runner friends, right? And I love this because everybody needs a hug. In fact, I was doing some research on this because yesterday I blogged on it, but this morning I was reading that, studies have shown that we need 4 hugs a day to survive, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, and 12 hugs a day to thrive and to grow. That's pretty amazing. But if you look at it, it doesn't really it shouldn't surprise us, because we look at the examples in the Bible, where he washed the disciples' feet. He got down on his hands and knees and he touched one of their most vulnerable parts. That shows, that affection. We touch someone, or we hug someone, or just even pat their hand, or whatever, we're conveying to that person that we like them, or we love them, or that they're valued. And everybody just needs that reminder. But we have so many people in our world that just experiencing a lot of loneliness. I thought about that as I was reading this morning. I was in Psalm 68. It's a beautiful psalm. I highly encourage you to read it. But it talks about, that Jesus himself, he's a father to the fatherless. He's a defender of the widows, and that he places the solitary or the lonely into families. God was so good and so gracious to give us our church families that, I don't know if you don't have a church family, I highly encourage you to get one. They're just absolutely amazing. It's these people that we're bound to by these bonds of love rather than by blood. And these bonds are just as strong because we're bound together by mutual love of our Father, Jesus Christ. And it fills the void that a lot of people feel. My mom just, she's a widow now, and I know that she struggles being alone, and those hugs to her, they mean so much. So my challenge to you is for us to look around at our world and see, who is it that might need a hug today. They mean so much. And I wanted to share this too because, in Matthew 8, we have the story, Jesus, there were several healings in Matthew 8, but we have the first healing, and it says that, there was a leper in front of Jesus, and he said, if you are willing, make me clean. Now think about this. In those days, leprosy was a metaphor for sin, and what sin did. Sin separated a person from God, and it separated them from their community. So not only was this leper, he was feeling the intense pain of leprosy, of this disease, which is absolutely painful. It's disfiguring, and it's just awful. But he was lonely. He was on the outskirts of town, and Jesus, he could have, because several of the healings, he said a word and they were healed. Jesus could have healed by a word, but he reached out and he touched the man's hand, and he said, I am willing, and he made him clean. And then we have where he went to the house of Peter, and Peter's mother-in-law, she was ill. She was laying on a bed, and by the way that she was with the family, it's pretty indicative that she was probably a widow. So not telling when the last time that she was touched, and rather than say, woman, get up off that bed, as he's done before, he touched her hand and he helped her up, and she went into the kitchen and she started to prepare food for them. So it's just very indicative that touch is just, there's such healing in touch. So my challenge to you is to look for those people today who might need a hug, and just go up and say, hey, can I give you a hug? There's so much power in that. So guys, I really, really hope that blesses you. And more than anything, I just hope it inspires you to show the love of Jesus. By doing so, we can influence the lost to seek him. I'm going to finish up my run and get off to the best job ever. It is going to be a great day.